Yo YouTube, back with another video. Today we're gonna be reacting to the satisfying death of hipster culture. Let me see. And if I'm being honest, bro, like my idea of hipster might not be the same as the shit that he showed on the pictures. Cause like I do know that they look like this from the pictures he finna show, but it's like ain't they like it's all types of different variations, ain't it? I'm gonna let him explain though, but before we get into it, y'all know what to do. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good shit, and let's get back into it.
Growing up, if there was one group of people I remember getting made fun of quite a bit, it was hipsters, a group that was led by the millennials. It's not like they were inherently bad for being hipsters, people just thought they were very cringe.
Oh, hipsters though. Like, yeah, I know about them hipsters. I really kind of thinking like hipsters and hippies were like damn near two sides of the same coin, but like he talking about like, yeah, like the millennial, them like yeah, like them 30-year-olds that be owning them coffee shops and like them like bakeries and them burger joints and shit like that. Like I know what he talking about.
That's why terms like lumbersexual exist, or pictures like this, or why Peter was wearing a man bun in this episode.
Yeah, like this. But I forget where I was. I don't know where I stopped at. I don't know if it was in Savannah. I can't really think, but I remember going to my first hipster type-ish spot. And I don't know, was it coffee or... No, it was like a pizza spot. Pizza and burger joint type joint. And I just remember this was they swag. Like stuff like this. Like man buns and all this stuff. And that was my first time seeing a vape. They were overly laid back and like kind of like acting like they were too cool. Like, nigga, you are my waiter. Like, why these niggas would act like we came to see them? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, technically we kind of did for the food, but like, no, nigga, like we came for the food, like not you, nigga. But yeah, they were like this, bro. Like, it was a swag I didn't understand at first. I'm not gonna lie. It's like older people that's trying to still be like show that they hip, right? Hipsters. Oh, okay, I get the name now.
Family Guy, or why there were so many 2010s-esque memes about hipsters, or even why songs
with them damn tats too.
But a Family Guy, or why there were
like them like tribal. I don't even know what you call these type of tats. They have like the pyramids, the tribal shit. Like I don't know.
2010s-esque memes about hipsters, or even why songs like this exist.
We are young. There's a fire in our soul.
But despite the 2000s,
watch out though. So by the time the bar closes and you feel like falling down, damn, I'll carry you home tonight. That my shit, bro. I ain't gonna lie. I play that bit. I know that whole song by heart. That my shit now. But yeah, that probably would be like hipster culture, wouldn't it? But Zendaya was fire. She's still straight now, but that was my Shawty. I still rock with Shawty, but like back then, she would have waved for real.
2010s, especially being heavily influenced by hipster culture.
Them damn beanies too.
But despite the 2000s and the 2010s, especially being heavily influenced by hipster.
Hold on. So if by the time the bar closes, I'm just imagining niggas singing it, and you feel like falling down. Yep, this all looks about right. They still be at them damn tattoo shops. These niggas didn't go nowhere.
Culture. It seems like they are few and far.
But this look a little folkish with like all this, but I don't know.
These days. So what happened? Why do people hate hipsters so much? And how did they so heavily influence society? Well, to understand that, we gotta understand what a hipster even is. The term hipster originally dates back to around the 1930s, evolving from the slang hepcat or hipster, which meant someone in the know with jazz subculture. Then the meaning changed in the 1940s, and it was used to refer to young white jazz fans who adopted the lifestyle, slang, and fashion of black musicians. However, these are just the roots. Eventually, the OG hipster movement kinda transitioned into the hippie movement, but it wasn't technically a...
So it's tied to it. I'm gonna let him explain, my bad.
Connect, as the hippie movement was just one of the next big countercultures of its time. And ironically, some writers claim the hipster revival is what ended up replacing the hippies. This Reddit...
I heard some crazy theory about the hippies, bro. I don't know if I want to react to it because I feel like it's kind of like If you know, you know. Like it's not one of them things. But yeah, I didn't know that hippie culture went that deep. But yeah, if you look it up, you'll find out.
Said, hippies tend to not be pretentious trust fund babies. They listen to good music. Hipsters tend to be a little less smelly and listen to bad music. They are also insufferable. Almost every era has its own version of countercultures, but not all of them are looked back at in the same way. In the 1920s to 30s was the Harlem Renaissance, which came with cultural empowerment for African Americans and intellectual, artistic, and social challenges to racial injustice. Then sometime in the mid-1940s to the mid-60s was the Beat Generation, an anti-conformist movement emphasizing artistic and spiritual exploration and defiance of consumerist suburban culture. Then there were the
shit like Grease. If y'all seen that Grease movie.
Artistic and spiritual exploration and defiance of consumerist suburban culture. Then there were the hippies in the 60s and punk in the 70s for a while who don't need too much explaining. And after a few more eras, some of which were pretty brief, came the hipsters. The point is, there's always a counterculture movement, but the hipsters reached a pretty shocking size. For decades, the term hipster was nearly dormant. That was until its revival in the 90s and 2000s. This iteration of hipster made its debut following profiles of Williamsburg, Brooklyn, from both the New York Times and Time Out New York. At this point, the profiles referred to them as bohemians and artsy East Village types. But then in 2003 came the Hipster Handbook, published by Williamsburg resident Robert.
They got a fucking handbook? Wait, is it to describe them or is it to teach a nigga how to be a hipster? I want it. Look at this swag. He putting that shit on though. Putting that shit on.
Because of this, the term hipster started getting some pretty big traction, and eventually the term was being used throughout New York and eventually the United States as a whole. In this early era of the hipster revival, the Hipster Handbook described hipsters as young people with mop-top haircuts, swinging retro pocketbooks, talking on cell phones, smoking European cigarettes, strutting in platform shoes with a biography of Che Guevara.
You know what I thought about, bro? And I gotta give credit to white people for this a little bit. Well, any cool group of white people that seem cool and they not like the regular, like I guess stereotypical white people archetype or whatever you want to call it, people clown them, bro. I kind of feel y'all on that. I'm gonna be honest, bro. Like I think about it like through history. Anytime y'all would like, I ain't gonna lie. Now don't get fucked up. It's still a lot of shit where y'all just took it and ran with it. We not gonna act like that shit don't exist because there's a lot of swag still in a lot of other shit. But besides that, some niggas I feel like were definitely inspired, and like some white people just wanted to be fly and be cool and be just outside of the box. And I feel like y'all niggas really did get a lot of hate, and I think it made a lot of them conform more. And they already kind of like they got a standard set for them because they run everything. So it's kind of like, yeah, it sucks, bro. Like I'm not gonna lie, like it's like if you're a white guy and you trying to like do something that requires swag and has some type of, it's just not normal, you looked at it as like, the fuck is you doing? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what's your problem? Like with black people, it's kind of the same thing, but not really as much. Like now, like, cause I be damn, like you could say we the inventors of a lot of shit, so it's not the same. But with them, it's like, nigga, just act right, you know what I'm saying? But same with us to a degree still. I don't know. I don't want to get into all that though.
Of their bags. Rob further described hipsters, saying, "You graduated from a liberal arts school whose football team hasn't won a game since the Reagan administration, and you have one Republican friend who you always describe as being your one Republican friend." This early on, hipsters didn't have like a super negative connotation around them. Obviously, the writing was satirical and kind of poking fun at them in a lighthearted way, but it wasn't all negative. And it wasn't quite at the same level of hate that eventually developed, which came in major part because a bunch of rich white kids eventually took it over. But the hipster phenomenon wasn't just unique to the United States.
You know what that shit just remind me of, seeing that nigga. Y'all ever had that lumberjack app? Oh, lumberjack app. Y'all had that? Where it's like you chop the wood and you swap sides. I feel like nobody remembers that app but me. But it was one of my favorite apps to play because you gotta like keep doing it because it'll start going faster, and like I think the branch will be over your head, so you gotta go right, you gotta go left. Like that shit was hard. But yeah, I'm all off topic. Yeah.
Well, it was definitely eventually took it over. But the hipster phenomenon wasn't just unique to the United States. While it was definitely trailblazed in the United States, eventually it became a worldwide trend. It first gained traction in Brooklyn, but then areas in the Pacific Northwest and southwestern United States quickly adopted the wave. Places like Portland and San Francisco.
Who the fuck is this guy? Knowing he cool as hell.
Pacific Northwest and southwest.
These be the niggas that got fat groups of friends too, about 20 of them.
United States quickly adopted.
See, bro, I'm not gonna lie, from old 2000 movies, bro, and I know I'm yapping a little bit too much, but, bro, that's the swag I wanted to be on. This, like a not a horrible apartment, but like almost on some like laid back, kickback apartment, and then you got friends like on some sitcom shit. You know, you got partners that live down the street that always come over, or they, you know, all that other shit. Like I always thought that was cool to have those group of friends and y'all just living a cool life. Ain't got worried too much about bills and all that shit. Yeah, sounds like would have been a cool life. Now shit high as fuck now.
Places like Portland and San Francisco. But like I said, it wasn't just a US thing either, as places in the world like London or Portugal or Finland or cities in France and even Russia adopted this sort of culture. But before hipster culture evolved into what you probably remember it as, there were some changes along the way, specifically when it came to their style. In 2009, a Time magazine article described hipsters as follows: take your grandmother's sweater and Bob Dylan's Wayfarers, add jean shorts, Converse All-Stars, and a can of Pabst, and bam, hipster. The magazine continued on saying, hipsters are the friends who sneer when you cop to liking Coldplay. They're the people who wear t-shirts, silk screened with quotes from movies you've never heard of, and the only ones in America who still think Pabst Blue Ribbon is a good beer. They sport cowboy hats and berets and think Kanye West stole their sunglasses. Everything about them is exactly constructed to give off the vibe that they just don't care.
Damn, who wrote that? They hating, bro. That's a lot of glaze, bro. Hop off, nigga. I ain't gonna lie, I hate when, like, you know what I hate, bro? I'm gonna be honest, and I don't like to say I hate a lot of shit, but I'm gonna say I hate this. People who, like try to box in a swag. And I get it because, like, as humans, we'll analyze shit and we'll be like, it's like this. We can just categorize it. To a degree, we can, but certain shit is just like, bro, maybe a nigga just like the swag. Like, and yes, it might be other niggas that done did it and already, but, like, bro, just let the swag be the swag. Unless a nigga trying to, like, jam it down your throat and make you know what I'm saying? Which, like, how can you even do that? But, I don't know. People can't let people be, bro. I hate haters, bro. And behind the nigga that's typing, he probably I'm gonna call him, what's the word? I'm gonna call him a conformist. I don't even know if that shit exists. Niggas that just go with the program. I hate those type of niggas, bro. Like, you quit to speak on everybody because you scared to do the shit you probably want. Like, you know, you ain't got no type of swag or nothing inside. So the way you get off is by talking crazy about folks that want to, like, vibe or something like that. Is it probably lame or is it goofy? Maybe. But shut the fuck up. Like, I hate, you gave a whole type think piece on that shit. Like, I don't know. I'm standing up for hipsters. Never thought I would see today. It's crazy.
Around this point, I'm guessing you can see where the attitude towards hipsters started to change a little bit. While mainstream society of the 2000s was focused on things like reality TV and celebrity culture, an uprising was quietly and diligently taking place behind the scenes. Long forgotten styles of clothing, beer, cigarettes, and music were becoming popular again. Retro was now cool. The old was the new.
Who is this nigga, bro? I feel like he popping it, bro.
Beer,
like,
cigarettes, and music were becoming popular again.
Is he a famous singer or something?
Was now cool. The old was the new.
Nigga rocked the bandana, like, I ain't never seen that. Like, he just put it on any type of way with the scarf as hell. I'm gonna bring back, like, the U-necks. I don't know if y'all know, but I got, like, U-necks and V-necks. I'm gonna start rocking them bitches. I just feel like it's cooler, bro. Especially, like, when I get my little chest tats and shit, bro. That shit gonna be wavy.
Kids liked the irony of making something so nerdy so cool. They wanted to live sustainably, eat organic gluten-free grains, and above all, they wanted to be recognized for being different. They wanted to leave the mainstream and carve out a cultural niche all for themselves. I'm sure you guys know a few people, or maybe you are also like this in your own right, because a lot of people don't want to be like everybody else. I mean, everyone wants to have their own uniqueness to them. However, this was an entire movement. It wasn't just an individualism thing. For this generation, styles weren't bought in a department store, but in a thrift shop or or ideally, you've made it all yourself. Unlike today, it wasn't cool to look like a television star. You were supposed to look like you haven't even heard of a TV. You guys know what I mean. I mean, people want to be different, and this began to blow up for a bit, especially among millennials.
I don't think like that swag that he's showing like some of these people, bro. Well, these niggas try. She's so bad. That's that Zoe Kravitz shot. I don't think these niggas were trying. Well, yeah, like Childish Gambino, I think was. But I think another thing was that they was trying to look normal when they was out in public. I don't think there was too much trying to goddamn be fashion icons. Sometimes it just that became the thing where it was like, oh, the famous people dressing like they don't give a fuck, you know. But it's like, I don't know, maybe
a television star. You were supposed to look like you haven't even heard of a TV. You guys know what I mean. I mean,
but you know, it's funny. Like some of this shit is like pieces that be like, it's from John Paul Gaultier. Like this is not a regular sweater. You be like, damn. So they probably was popping it low key.
Different, and this began to blow up for a bit, especially among millennials. It's important to note that the word hipster is a pretty broad term. It includes the counterculture / alternative side of millennials that I've been talking about, but back in the day it was also just used to describe anyone that was the slightest bit alternative, so keep that in mind. The hipster boom was defined by a ton of different notable trends and dominated in a bunch of cities worldwide, with its impact being so effective that many aspects still remain today, just no longer only under the hipster umbrella. One of the most notable aspects about hipsters is probably their style. Their outfits included vintage clothes, alternative fashion, or a mixture of different fashion, which for some reason was usually some shade of beige.
Bro, swear it was alright, bro. They hate him, bro. You know what I was gonna say though? Another thing is, bro, there is no such thing as unique, and people be like mad because I'm like, first off, when some shit pop off and it is like fresh and new, people hate on it damn near all the time. So I don't like hearing people like, oh, we want something fresh and fresh. But y'all get fresh shit and y'all be like, oh, fuck, what the hell? No. We want something that's somewhat familiar. So I don't want to hear that. But damn near everything has been done up under the sun. I think what makes most people unique is what they taking, like what is they taking from individuals that they really, you know, fuck with. You know what I'm saying? And what they make as their own, you know what I'm saying? Like they might see a red dress that Shawty wearing, but they want that red dress and make a twist out of it. You dig what I'm saying? Like it's not straight up like, because I think it's a difference of being influenced by certain shit and then just copying. Like, because copying is way easier. Just when you take stuff and then you branch off and make little other things about it, that's what makes most people unique. Because certain people will take something and flip it to a whole nother thing. That's why I like Ye a lot. Ye be like snapping when it comes to shit like that.
Common or iconic things that they used to wear was like skinny jeans, checkered or flannel shirts or v-necks, knit beanies, obnoxious attention-grabbing beards and mustaches, and thick-rimmed or lensless glasses. Basically, picture someone who saw a lumberjack on TV, liked the style, but never actually touched an axe or a chainsaw in their life. I'm sure you get the point here. Anything to look cool.
That's all them 2000 horror movies too, by the way. Like them old, like early 2000, like fresh off 2004 shit. Like this is they swag. The main white shawty, like, or whatever, trying to, like, you know, they on the road trip or whatever,
actually touched an axe or a chainsaw in their life. I'm sure you get the point here. Anything to look cool or rustic in a way that is also somehow high class. And while your look was one of the most important parts about being a hipster definitely wasn't just about the clothes that you wore. It became an entire identity in and of itself. Their attitude towards things and their habits are a little hard to explain unless you know about it, so I'll just show you this video as a reference.
Do you still drink coffee?
I don't drink coffee anymore. It's too mainstream. I just go to the roaster and suckle the beans.
I'm reading a blog about the evils of corporate America.
Oh, so true. Is that the new iPhone?
Yeah, it's incredible.
They started opening up their own places like coffee shops, which for lack of a better words became a little douchey, or maybe highbrow is a better term. As did the bars, the restaurants, and every other gentrified place they'd spend their trust fund money at. That was another aspect of hipsters. A lot of them were roughly middle class, yet LARPed as if they were struggling. They adopted this sort of industrial architecture, with everything being made out of some form of wood, brick, or metal, and had some sort of connection to being better without the ego. But of course, there was a ton of ego within hipsters, which made it all the more cringy. Obviously, not everyone was like this, but a lot of them kind of had this air of pretentiousness to them, and their vibe was just like, oh, you guys don't eat organic food, we're better than you, you know? But at the same time, they were acting like they didn't care at all what others thought, so it was kind of weird. A lot of this is actually very ironic, considering a ton of these aspects of hipster culture are still popular today on.
I wonder where them niggas at now, bro. Like, now I know they old, bro. Like I really wonder what year. I'm talking about like 2004. I don't know what year this probably was, but I just know this swag when I see it. But yeah, them niggas probably old now, bro. I wonder what they look at themselves like. They probably like, damn, bro. Like, we were some goofy ass, like, cause to be honest, what they probably all were like. To be honest, they were up there, cause yeah, millennials probably at that time they were doing that. They probably like 20. Lowest probably 25, probably 26, up to about 30 something. So now they probably definitely like 40 to 50, some shit like that. I don't know.
And not just as a hipster thing. Another prominent cultural aspect of hipsters that I have to talk about is their music. As hipsters grew in popularity, a strangely overly optimistic sound of song became very prominent, especially around the 2010s. Many have called this stomp, clap, hey music, and if you don't know what I'm talking about, just listen to this.
Bro, nah, I'm not gonna let them do that though. I'm not. Bro, I told y'all I don't even listen to rap, even though I be making music and rapping and shit like that. Bro, this is my swag, bro. I love shit. Like, it's like, I don't listen to this all the time, but when I do, I be like, when I have my moments, I'm listening to like for days. Like, you know what I'm saying? I fuck with the music. I know, but I hate the idea that when stuff gets mainstream that it's bad. I hate that shit. Like, don't do that. Don't come around here being like, you listen to that, it's mainstream. I don't give a fuck. If I like it, I like it, bro. Ain't nobody gonna tell me like it's certain, like, bro, I can't stand, it's certain shit that's underground or whatever you want to call it that I hate. It's certain mainstream shit I hate, but it's like, bro, if you like something, like it, bro. Do not let these folks make you feel bad because certain shit popular. It's sometimes that's just what happens. Like, and some stuff be popular because it was so good, become popular because it's good, bro. Like, people need to stop that, bro. Stop doing that, bro. Like, you're not finna ruin that shit for me. I love this shit, especially like if I'm on a road trip or something like that. I don't give a damn. They my swag right now.
You may hate this style of music now, but somehow it was huge.
But that is funny, but hey, with the tambourine. Ah, damn, I ain't gonna lie. If I was in a band like that, bro, we'll take over, bro. I'll probably bring that shit back. Nah, I'm fucking around. But this music still got a special place in my heart. I don't give a damn.
Back in the day. Eventually though, as you guys are probably aware, this style of music has been memed into oblivion. Hipsters had this strange combination of positivity and counterculture, but it worked. It was all about having fun and living your life your way. Hipster music even bled into rap. In 2008, writer Jake Mohan described a newer hipster rap scene which was developing as sort of a 90s hip-hop mashup. Now you're probably thinking hip-hop and hipsters are kind of pretty opposite.
What he gonna pull up Odd Future? Let me see. Let's see where he go.
But during this brief period of time, the shockingly contrasting sub-niches...
Bro, this nigga Childish Gambino, as much as I fuck with his like artistry and how crazy he is, like he do so much, this nigga swag is always horrible. It was always horrible. He never... That's why it's good that he artistic as he is, because with just swag alone, bro, that nigga did not... He never had that shit on lock. Never did.
Together nonetheless. Basically, Jake was pointing out how the baggy pants type style of hip-hop changed in the 2000s, leaning more towards tight jeans and big sunglasses. He even mentioned underground and older hip-hop musicians criticizing the mainstream artists for copying the metrosexual appearances of hipster fashion. And I think the prime example of this has to be Macklemore. A writer for Prefix Mag argues that there were a ton of racial elements that were involved in the rise of hipster rap. He claims that there have been a slew of angry...
This nigga got bangers, bro. That's what's crazy. This nigga got bangers, bro. I ain't never like him like that. When I hear him start rapping, it would blow me. But I'll be like, what's that one song he got? He got one song that I'm like, I hear him. You know, what he talking about? He like, remember when I had my first pair of Jordans? I thought I could jump so high. Jump so high? I forget how that shit go. But that shit had me dying laughing. Even when I was a young nigga, I'm like, bro, what the fuck is this, bro? This nigga's a goofball. But yeah, and then he had that thrift shop song, right? I don't know.
To the rise of hipster rap, which he says can be summed up as white kids want the funky otherness of hip hop without all of the scary black people, which is especially ironic when you consider the origins of the term hipster, which is from the 1930s, and it's about rich white kids trying to imitate or become part of the black jazz scene. Eventually, as I'm sure you're all aware, songs like these, outfits like I showed, and everything hipster was growing to the mainstream quite a bit. At its peak, hipster culture became a mainstream subculture, which kind of made it not make any sense. In simple terms, counterculture is not counterculture unless it's counter to the culture. Maybe that was a little confusing, but basically, it's hard to be against the mainstream when you've become the mainstream. Because of just how many people joined the hipster bandwagon, a lot of others started to hate it. The term hipster can be a little hard to define, but one definition that gives us some...
See what he said? Once people join it, they hate it. Bro, anything that becomes popular is lame. After a while, it's lame. That's why I'm saying, bro, I don't give a fuck. Like, that's why I look at it, even for me. I know one day I'm going to be one of the ones. And if you're not with me, bro, go on leave, bro. Because there's always going to be an evolution of shit. Now, that's what I'll say. Certain people, things get stagnant. And they're like, now they're mainstream. And they get stuck at a certain place. I'm going to evolve so much with a lot of the shit I do. And I don't want people to be like, oh, ever, like, you could think whatever, but I don't want to hear nobody be like, yeah, he's whatever because he's mainstream, he's lame because he's mainstream. Like, just goofball shit, bro. It's goofball shit.
As to why people made fun of hipsters so often is young people with pretentious styles and interests, models, DJs, those just out of art or fashion school, living in parts of the city that were on the edge of gentrification. Throughout the 2000s and onwards, the hipster movement was...
That's my thought of hipsters, low-key. Especially, when it came to younger people.
About being counterculture, which of course is common in a lot of sociological subgroups. However, as hipster culture grew and became more popular among millennials, it wasn't really counterculture anymore. The style was mainstream, everyone was going to their favorite coffee shop, listening to niche music, wearing flannels and drinking IPAs. Another big issue people had with hipsters was gentrification.
Starving artists move into a working class neighborhood for affordability reasons, and it begins to transform. Maybe you get a mural here or there, someone opens up a coffee shop, then a wave of greedy hipsters attracted to the authenticity and grittiness of the area move in and bring even more business with them. Developers come in, build high rises, raise rents, and the high incomes of these newcomers outcompete the low incomes. Suddenly, the neighborhood looks a lot different. Sometimes the original residents get priced out altogether. And this is really unfortunate if you're renting, but devastating if you're a homeowner. Around 2015, the media was content with characterizing hipsters as these evil colonizers and culture vultures who wanted to displace poor people while stealing their music, fashion, and apartment buildings.
Of course, not all hipsters were some evil, gentrifying monsters who just wanted to destroy communities, but a lot of them got stuck with this label as gentrification became more and more prominent. Professor Heike Steinhoff, I hope I pronounced that somewhat right.
I'm looking at they swag. That was like a lot of Disney too. That early Disney, like a Zendaya and shit. They swag was always like thrifting a bunch of random shit and putting it on. Like and they'll wear scarves around. I'll be like, what the fuck are you wearing? Like, you can't even remember a solid fit from no Disney character from one of them live action TV shows. Now you think about it, can you? Like, be honest. I'm telling you, bro. I think about everybody, bro. Everybody looked like they thrifted they shit real fast. That was just the swag. I think it's probably for branding reasons though. Maybe for branding reasons. All right.
of hipster culture, transnational and intersectional perspectives, said in her book, on the one hand, the label hipster was often used in a critical manner as a shorthand for fake individualism, gentrification, and a lot that was perceived as wrong about neoliberal consumer culture. On the other hand, hipster aesthetics and styles seemed to be adored as they increasingly became mainstream through various processes of commodification and imitation. Basically, there was a few things at play that led to the hatred of hipster culture. One of the main ones was its popularity, because not only does everyone love to hate on things that are popular, but they could also see that a lot of people were forcing it. Hipsters were all about being counterculture, so when people were trying their hardest and doing the most to look like or act like a hipster, it was just so backwards. It's like trying to be nonchalant. It just doesn't work. Another big reason is because while a lot of hipsters were genuinely interested in alternative things, a lot of others forced it and were very pretentious about it. It's kind of like if another 24-year-old came up to me and was like, oh, you've never listened to The Doors before? I have listened to The Doors, by the way, but if someone my age asked me that, that's stupid. You know, that's not our generation. Why would I know that?
There are a lot of reasons why people hate hipsters.
The Doors? I never heard of that.
For me, this is the biggest. Hipsters base their whole existence on the notion that they are not following trends. They view non-hipsters, or mainstream society, as a herd of sheeple just mindlessly following what their televisions tell them to do. Meanwhile, they view themselves as a bunch of non-conformist, free-thinking individuals.
Yeah, this is also what I think of, like tattoo artists. I think he fully in though. Is this all the way hipster or this some other shit? Yeah, this is probably hipster. He kind of look like a carnival guy. Yeah, like he do circus performance. Yeah, he on a fucking one wheel, a unicycle.
In
That shit like it hurt. God damn.
reality, they're the ones whose entire existence is a trend. Normal people aren't following trends as much as they're taking the path of least resistance. When I shop at a normal supermarket instead of Whole Foods, it's not because all my friends shop there and I want to fit in. It's because there's a Hannaford's a block away from where I live and there's no Whole Foods near me. Plus, Whole Foods tends to charge a lot more for food that I'm not convinced is actually any better for me. At the same time, there is no way you're going to convince me that every hipster simultaneously, completely on their own, decided to start wearing skinny jeans, grow a beard, and become obsessed with expensive coffee.
A lot of the hipster movement seemed very disingenuous. The other reason people started to hate hipsters, aside from all the forcing it or pretentiousness, was basically just because the younger generations found it all very corny. Not just hipsters, but millennials in general are typically just viewed as cringe by the younger folks. I think this video sums it all up the best.
What's up, internets? It's Cody Redwing of Cody Redwing and the Broken Hearts. You probably know me from my hit song We Will Never Die or American Idol Season 10, Humble Brag. I'm here at my favorite burger joint, Epic Sauce, for the OG double patty with truffle fries. It's goals AF. And I just want to let you know I'm going on tour this spring with Kyle Gordon. He's bringing the lol, I'm bringing the soul. So definitely don't head over to KyleGordonIsGreat.com.
Bruh, fuck up, bruh. With the music in the background, that's your hard, bro. I don't give a damn, bro.
Said no one ever. Get your tickets.
Millennials were posting online saying stuff like adulting or hashtag blessed or doing these exaggerated faces or doing the millennial pause. And I don't think I need to talk too much about how corny and weird the whole mustache obsession was. You know, everyone drawing mustaches on everything. And since most hipsters were millennials, Gen Z and many others just found it cringe. Genuinely, if it wasn't for the bad music, the corny style, and the pretentious air that many hipsters had to them.
God damn, he chewing them lyrics. Damn, that was what he was doing in that music video. I forgot. God damn.
If it wasn't for the bad music, the corny.
He's in. The
pretend.
What the fuck? All right, what song I'm thinking of? He had that other song. I can't think of it.
Air that many hipsters had to them. I think hipster culture was pretty cool, and a lot of good things have come from it. Regardless, once hipster culture became mainstream and was no longer the counterculture, combined with how many people hated it, eventually it was bound to die. The hyper-specific hipster that has been memed into oblivion by society is gone. As a writer for Vice said, the true hipsters have become too mainstream to remain hip. The mainstream itself has reacted by picking up that which was once alt. The ethos of the hipster has spread throughout culture to the point that the hipster is no more. Very rarely will you find someone that's dressing up like a lumbersexual that has a man bun.
Cap. These niggas still exist. Hold
more.
up.
Very rarely will you
Bro,
find someone
I
that's
went to go get a piercing. I didn't even go through with it because of I had my little brother with me, so I needed some whole other shit. But I was gonna go get the little double thing and shit like that. Like the double piercings up all the way up here and shit like that. I'm like, and them niggas look just like this. And I'm not gonna lie, bro. Like if they look like this now, like back then, I think they were cooler. They look like this now, bro. They not fucking with niggas, bro. I don't think so. I ain't gonna say they are racist, but some of them, they feel like, I think they be thinking we already on bad timing, bro. Sometimes I just see it in their face. I be like, man, fuck, my bad, bro. Like I be feeling like I did something bad. Like, my bad, bro. Yeah, especially with this well taken care of beard. Fuck out of here, bro.
dressing up like a lumbersexual that has a man bun and is drawing mustaches on everything and doing whatever else the stereotypical hipster.
That's hold up.
Man bun and is drawing mustaches on everything and doing what
My boy from bro, what's the shit? I know them, bro, because bro, when we used to be in school, bro, I don't know if y'all niggas had it, but the school laptop didn't let us watch a lot of shit, and that was what's the thing, bro? Good Morning. It was like what is their names, bro? If y'all know who I'm talking about, but they be like Wonderful Morning, or I forget their name. Shit, bro. My memory burnt, bro.
else the stereotypical hipster is doing. However, just because the stereotype is gone and people don't really call themselves or others hipsters anymore, doesn't mean they didn't change society in various ways. First of all, every generation has their own counterculture movements. And with a lack of monoculture in the big 2026, I'd say hipsters have splintered off into various subgroups. People still thrift, some people still frequent coffee shops to work on their laptops, people still like IPAs and go to microbreweries with their friends, some people still wear flannels, and every now and then, you will spot a man bun. The point is, hipster culture is not entirely gone. I just think it was divided and absorbed into a bunch of other subgroups. Hipsters in part are responsible for the huge resurgence of vinyl collecting, which is still clearly a very big thing today. The general fascination with things that are vintage or retro or any other sort of physical media or analog media is very popular.
I got a mean vinyl collection, by the way. Not because of me, it was from my granddad, what he had. My mom just gave it to me, so I gotta show y'all one day.
Now, thrifting in particular is bigger than it's been in decades. People are much more aware of the quality of the food they're buying, and Whole Food stores are everywhere. As Vice said, the hipster arguably isn't totally nullified, it's just evolved. Fragmented. I mean, Gen Z's counterculture is very hard to pin down thanks to the internet splintering everything, but everything I've seen on Gen Z's counterculture is basically just a more modern spin on the hipster culture. So while the younger generation has adopted tons of fragments of hipster culture, more specifically the good side of it, the OG hipsters are nowhere to be seen. They probably just have families and are chilling these days. There's also a bunch of them still running bars or coffee shops, or most notably burger joints, still playing the classic hipster hits.
Ho! Alright, let me chill the fuck out. Hey! That'd be me though. But why he made them sound like they migrated like superheroes or something like that. They shall return. Man, them niggas, man, shout out them though, bro. Love hipsters, man. That type of music, if that's hipster shit, I still, hey, y'all had some bangers.
So hipster culture still lives on, both through memes reminiscing on the past and genuinely fun practices, establishments, and trends that still exist today thanks to hipsters. I'd say like any other movement, the hipsters were pretty cool until too many people got into the mix and quickly made it uncool. And I'm curious to see what the next big cultural movement is. If you like this video, you might like my video on hustle culture, which has taken over the last decade and a half or so, and it's definitely the antithesis of hipster culture. So make sure to click the video that's on screen right now.
We definitely gotta watch that, tune into that. This was a good vid. This was long as fuck, I'm not gonna lie, because I don't know why it felt so long. But it's pretty good. Shout out buddy. His name Matty Balls. Never heard of him. Shout out Matty Balls, man. Yeah, this is a good little vid. Y'all know what to do. I'll see y'all in the next one, nigga. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good shit. And